Chris here from Light. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being here today. Yeah! Today, I'm on the top of Swan Falls up here. Kind of like you see down, the falls is here, but there's more falls over here. However, it's too loud to be beside them. So, I'm in a place that's a little more quiet so you can hear me today speak. So today I'm here to talk about trust. Trust in new ways unfolding. That's what I'm here to talk about today, is trust in new ways unfolding. So, stay tuned and thank you for joining me today. So how deep is your trust? How deep is your trust? Okay? Questions to ask yourself as we're going throughout this discussion today is it easy for you to trust? Is it? Is it easy for you to trust? Do you trust yourself? Ask yourself that. Do you trust yourself? Do I trust myself? Do you trust others? Do you trust others? Has your trust been abused, broken, stamped on, denied, rejected? Do you feel God, Goddess has abandoned you? And you feel there's no way you can trust anybody anymore? You can't even trust Creator or your life unfolding or your unfolding journey. Everything just gets stumped up. You feel alone, isolated, introverted, with no one to trust. You see, trust is a natural human gift. That's right, it's a human gift of yours. Inside of you, trust is a human gift. It's a beautiful gift indeed. By discovering and activating your innate human gifts, such as trust, we activate our soul gifts, our higher self gifts, our innate gifts, abilities, spiritual powers, and wisdom within inside of us. So I'm living proof of this from streets to where I am now, and that is a great deal of trust. There's a lot of times in my life where I was like, oh boy, this is going to be tough. I really want to trust right now. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to me on this. So even though it may feel you are being led astray, you are not being led astray. It may seem like you're being led astray. It really will. Like it may seem like, oh my God, I'm being led astray again. Okay, but you have to trust now. You got to trust on your unfolding life journey right now, right? The unfolding life journey that you're experiencing right now in your life. Okay, trust in the path before you. Trust that you cannot miss your true destiny. It's like a GPS, right? You go off course, boom, lines right up, boom. So how many times do you have to succeed to know that you can never fail? How many times do you have to succeed to know that you can never fail? Woo! Once? Well, if you could look at your spiritual resume, if you could just look at your spiritual resume before you came here, you would see, Grand Master, that you are. How many worlds you've mastered, how many lifetimes you've mastered. Okay, you're a great one. Okay, you can master this trust. Okay, you got this. This is a piece of cake. Okay, so yes, it is easy to trust. Yeah, right. Not after the life I've had, or the lifetimes I've had, or the lifetimes of pain and trauma, denial, letdowns, abandonment, suffering, guilt, shame, unhealthy pain and anger and fear and betrayal. Oh, right? That I've gone through. Where's God in all of this? Where's God been in all this pain in my life, suffering in my life? Trust what? That's just a waste of my time. I gotta see it to believe it. You know what I mean? I gotta see it to believe it. Others have to change in the world, right? Other world have to change the world first, and they gotta fix it before I'll apply, right? I wonder that that's symbiotic guilt there. They gotta change before I'll change. Okay? What may feel, right? What may have led us up to the point of not trusting, right? Let's talk about this for a minute, okay? This point that led us up to not trusting life or God, Goddess, or love, or basically anybody. Not even yourself. You can't even trust how you're gonna respond. I mean, react. Probably gonna react a lot. So you don't really want to respond. So understand that fear is an automatic response, right? Of self-denial and motivation. So fear is an instinctual and automatic response of your survival. Fear is also a grand and glorious teacher for you, right? Right now, it's a glorious teacher for you during this process of your evolution. Right? It's a great motivator. Fear is sometimes your first teacher, right? And it teaches you the whispers and the warnings and the reminders as you're going out from infancy, right? The fear teaches and delivers communications of the wax and wane of trust, right? So when trust waxes over, you feel automatically filled with guilt. You don't know how to trust, you just feel guilt, right? Shame, unhealthy anger, self-pity, and fear. If you process your emotions with guilt, right? If you process your emotions with guilt, you will fill with guilt, goo, a slobby, gooey, right? And you will automatically fill with fear then, because it will just sink you down to a lower frequency, because guilt's a low frequency. Oh, sounds like we've got a helicopter going by here. There's a helicopter. If you suppress unhealthy anger for long enough, right? You cannot trust your own words. How can you trust your own words if you suppress anger? Or you're afraid to use unhealthy anger, right? If you remember, maybe you don't want to make people angry, so you suppress it. You suppress it, and then you can't trust how you're going to react. You want to speak up, but you can't speak up because you can't trust how you're going to react. You snap. Oh, I'm so sorry with my anger again. Oh, boy. Right? So there goes the trust. It's out the window there. And self-esteem. You can't trust anything. I don't self-esteem. I rely on other people for my self-esteem. So if you suppress it long enough, you won't trust your own words, right? Actions, deeds, and instead you'll fill in fear, right? Just fill it right up with fear. So if you're like a shame-based person, right? You cannot do anything right. I can't do anything right. Or you're like a person with shame is like, I am wrong. I'm always wrong, and I'm never going to do anything right. But the guilt would say you're going to do something wrong, right? So it's constantly making mistakes. Constantly feels like a mistake. I'm a mistake. I'm always a mistake. I can't trust myself. I'm a mistake. I'm always going to mess up. I always mess up. I'm a mistake. He's afraid of change, right? Afraid of growth, expansion. You ultimately wax over your trust, and then you'll fill with fear. A whole bunch of fear. So your fear is meant to be faced, Divine One. It's meant for you to go forward into your fear. Into your fear. Right forward. Where there's a lack of trust, shame, guilt, unhealthy anger, self-pity, and fear, well, guess what will fill that space? Guess what? Guess of fear. Right? So, shame, guilt, unhealthy anger, and fear is a messenger and a communicator. When trust wanes, approaches an end, decreases in strength, declines in power, right? You feel, right? You feel and you feel gross. And you just feel and you feel shame, and guilt, and unhealthy anger, and self-pity, and fear, and guilt and shame and unhealthy anger and self-pity and fear is bringing you messages, teachers, and motivators around the wax and wane of your trust. That's right. Around the wax and wane of your trust. Yeah. So guilt, shame, unhealthy anger, self-pity, and fear is a communicator. Okay. It teaches a motivator, right, to communicate messages around love, around your love, defining moments of love. So you have to find your own love, Divine One, right? When it expands and when it contracts, when it flows and when it ebbs, like the ebb and flow of life. Yin and yang, the infinity of breath and in and out. Yeah. So, as well, guilt, shame, unhealthy anger, self-pity, and fear teachers, right, motivate us by delivering messages about the faulty functions of the stuff of our reality, okay? The faulty functions of the raw materials, right? Of attitudes, thoughts, feelings, decisions, or the tools of imagination that you use to help you create what you desire in your life, right? Even your desires can be, needs and wants can be all messed up. Expectations, right? Sustaining energies as well. So there's a faulty or friction when there is a contraction in these areas, contradiction in these areas of our stuff in our reality. Guilt, shame, unhealthy anger, self-pity, and fear communicate and give us messages of such faulty functions, okay? Which serve as teachers for us, for teachers, serve as motivators, not to be seen as prisoners, but instead as motivators for change, for change. Hi. So this is where I'd like to start to discuss my own journey with Creator. Okay, from where I am now, right? I've gone through a tremendous growth and expansion to get to where I am right here, right now, from nowhere to now here, okay? From a life where I was a child, a gifted one, we're all gifted, and then suppressing this gift, denying this gift, and having it raised up in a really abusive kind of lifestyle, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And rising up and standing on top of mountains, right? Rising up out of the streets, rising up out of prisons, rising up out of hardships, rising up out of abuse, rising up out of denial, rejection, shame, pain, anger, unhealthy anger, denial, right? Rising up, right? By trust, by growth, by expression, by expansion, by contraction, right? So I was like, by putting myself out there step by step, piece by piece, by working on my love, I grew in my strength, you see? There's many difficult times in my life. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't simple, but it was easy and fun to love the process, okay? There's many challenges and many hardships for me. Many of them, just like I know many of them. So mine isn't like worse than yours. We're all going through our own challenge right now, our own hardship. So by thinking of defining moments of love, that helps lift you up through this place of resonance and a place of frequency where you can trust. It's like your trusting space. But if you feel the guilt and shame, right, then you're not resonating at this place of trust anymore. So there was many hardships, believe me. There was many failures. There was many letdowns. There's heartbreaks, pains, losses, near-death experiences, right? Deep pain, which seemed that there was no way out of. There was no way out of. I was never going to get out of it. Prisons, rejections, hardships, right? I'm too old to try. Why even bother? I'm too sick. I couldn't even use half my body. I was really sick, right? I was washed up. I was a good for nothing. Crack addict, heroin junkie. You know what I mean? And there was times when I just wanted to end it all. Even committing suicide, being out of the psych wards. I wanted to just end it. It was done. All these things were happening to me, right? They're signs. They're designed to tumble me and topple me into God's trusting grace and love, right? So that way I don't punish it or I regret it or blame it or get angry at anybody. Everything was designed to help me develop my trust and defining moments of love to merge you back with the Creator. So be it. There are times when I would see challenges or obstacles in front of me. I really would. And be like, God, there's no possible way. Oh my God, there's no possible way that we're going to make this through this thing. I don't see how we're going to do this. You know, there's this, and this. And I could come up with 1,000 excuses, but then when I start breaking down the unhealthy anger and the shame and the guilt and all that, really isn't much more excuses left. So there's no logical reason to how this would work out for me, I would say. Right? Or why would I even do this? Why would I even bother? I don't want to do this. Get out of here. All I see from where I'm standing is impossible. Loss, hardship, difficult, misfortunes, right? Grief, pain, regret, resentments, right? Oh, tiring. More work than I want to put, more energy than I want to put in. And a good chance of failure, right? And I've been failing a lot in my life. You know, if you have guilt and shame and pain, well, guess what? You're just going to keep having that kind of Newton physics, right? Newtonian physics, where it's just going to keep going, and it's just going to keep processing with this shame that you're going to be carrying and this guilt you're going to be carrying until you change it, right? It's just going to keep repetitively going over and over and over again, keep creating this symbiotic relationship of more guilt and more pain and more anger and more unhealthy anger, and it's going to keep flowing and it's going to keep going. It's not going to stop, right? Then as we begin, right, to go through these obstacles in our life, and obstacles are those frightful things, right? When you take your mind off the goal, the obstacles are those frightful things when you take your mind off the goal. Then I was faced with my fears, right? So instead of running from them, running from my fears, and by doing this, I said face my fears, okay? You face your fears, so I still got some things, but I'm telling you, you trust, right? You trust by working on defining moments of love, and then you can face these fears that, you know, we're so scared of entering, right? So I went through them all. It seemed impossible. It wasn't impossible when you're in defining moments of love, right? So you want to change this physics dynamic that you're in. So I did not avoid or deny anymore, but instead I went through it. I went through these fears and these obstacles, and I found something that was on the other side, something that maybe you could say, oh, dude, I don't know what's on the other side of that thing, you know, I don't know what's over there, I don't want to go over there anyways. But guess what? There's something beautiful over there. I found something that through this impossible, that I thought was impossible, by reading and defining moments of love, I found out that it was possible. With Creator's love and with Creator's trust. But see, a lot of people, they can't put their love in the Creator right away. So you got to think of defining moments of love to get yourself up to that, right? But first, we have to understand the laws of the universe, is that which states we're all born into a specific lifetime. Oh my God, I'm in a specific life. You go up and out of it. And there's life lessons here. There's growth, there's expansion. This whole world is covered in grief and pain and unhealthy anger and shame and guilt and, you know, fear. So it's we're going out of this together as a collective, as universally together here. That's right, you wanted this life, right? I wanted this life that I'm living right now. That's why I'm so grateful and why I've grown up so quickly and so beautifully and flowered out of it. And understood it and found my love and found my purpose and my meaning in life is by growing up out of this hardships, you know? Not letting it take me out. Not letting me destroy me. You know what I mean? Not making them excuses and blaming and it was too hard or I'm too old or I can't do it. No. Finding defining moments of love and merging with my trust. Again, and getting out of that guilt and self-pity, because when you're down there, you sure can't trust. You can't trust. You can't trust yourself. You can't trust anybody else. You can't even love anybody else. Let alone forgive anybody else. How are you going to forgive and love anybody else? You can't even love and forgive yourself. Right? So remember, you're here to redefine the self. You're here to define you, to discover you, to find out why you sabotage yourself, to find out why you don't trust, to find out why you give up all the time, why you're so lazy all the time. You're here to define that and figure that out for yourself. Did you know that? You are. You're here to define that out for yourself. You're here to grow in your faith with love, grow in your faith with Creator, right? Eventually, you will find out that you are enough and you've always been enough. You are all enough right now. So you want to rise into your soul power. You want to unencumber yourself and then rise into your soul power and express your soul mission, Divine One. Okay? You want to grow back into God's unfolding love, because Goddess has never abandoned you. Goddess loves you no matter what you do in your life. So be it. So here's what I've learned about trust as I grew into my own dominion of my own soul power and my higher self power. First, trust is intimacy. Okay? It's loyalty. It's caring. It's dignity. It's integrity. And it's love. Right? Which are the bonds in the core, right, to trust. They're components of caring, right? Components of an intimacy, components of integrity, right? But if you have this guilt, you're not going to have that, right? Trusting in Creator gave me willingness, so I'm willing to change, willing to grow, willing to learn experiences, the courage, the bravery, the strength, right? The dominion, the positive thinking and feeling. Although if I'm in lower fear and guilt and shame, well, I'm not going to be thinking of positive thoughts down there. That's for sure, right? Trust energizes and generates energy. Guilt, fear, and shame do not. Which one do you want to choose? Which one do you value in your life, right? Trust refuels. It's happiness. It's value. Relationships, love. You're in charge of your reality. You're in charge of how you want to think today. Trust creates imagination. And when you can trust and you can imagine, then you can speak to the soul. Yay, that's exciting. You start to create the reality that you wish to live and the trusting, unfolding adventure that you're in. Trust allows you to trust in your dreams again, right? So you've tried to create lots of dreams, but they didn't happen anymore. They just fell short and fell flat in your face. Where's God, right? So trust sharpens, right? It gives you gifts. It sharpens your gifts. It sharpens your abilities, your spiritual powers, your wisdom, your knowledge, your attributes. Trust is power, okay? Trust is your power. Yes, this may be easier said than done. Yeah, right, easier said than done than trust, Chris. What are you talking about here? But try at first the little steps, okay? Trust with Creator. Trust with your defining moments of love. Remember, most but not all of you have been programmed to believe God is outside of you. And we have been taught we have to prove our worth, all right? We have to prove to God, all right, that God is judging us or condemning us has caused separateness from us, has caused a separateness from God, separateness to God's trust, right? God loves you without condition. God is not judging you, never has, never will judge you. It's just you judging yourself, Divine One. God, Goddess, is right there, omnipresent, omnipotent, right there inside of you. Just like Christ, with the Father's love came from within, right? The kingdom of heaven was within, the Father's love came from within. So be it, right? It's only judging man who created the judging God. To get most of you to fear God, to be scared of God, to not trust in God, or where's God when all this pain is happening in my life? When I started to recognize and realize that God, Goddess is in me, and then no matter what that I did, I could not fail. But the Father, Mother was within me, right? Has given me trust like never before. A fire within me has matured, right? I have risen to my own salvation from the streets to who I am now. I'm living my own philosophy, but I'm living my own truth, basically, right? So it's given my trust like never before. A fire within me has matured. That's what's going to happen right now. Now, it's easy to trust. It's maybe not simple, but it's easy to trust my decisions. For as I merge closer with defining moments of love and I merge closer with Creator, then I create my realities. Creator's working with inside of me, and I'm in that resonance, that vibration of trusting, and I'm creating in this high resonance of Creator's love. Now, if I'm always processing stuff through guilt and fear and shame, well, you ain't going to be able to trust nothing. Not yourself. You see, Bright One, all the challenges, letdowns, and pains, and all the heartaches that you have faced has designed to bring you closer to God's loving trust within you. So you see, God's not playing on the slot machines on you, right? See, God is all in, and God is very serious in the investment with you. But first, today, Divine One, you have to start trusting the Father, Mother is within you in your unfolding life journey. Trust is a superhuman power indeed. Trusting God, Goddess has given me everything I have now in my life, okay? Trust moves mountains. Trust gives you wings of God's breath. God, Goddess breath, as it blows through you as you paint with the colors of the wind, right? It gives you, allow you to fly into success right when you feel there's no way out and you can't get through there. Dear one, you will see a light at the end of the tunnel. You ever watch the show, The Field of Dreams? You know what I mean? I know it's an older show, but, you know, he's building a football field, he's going bankrupt, you know, there's like foreclosures and everything, and then it happens and manifests. You know what I mean? So you see, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If you hold that faith, right? Not hope, faith, you just go right through it. Hope you're gonna make it through. No, you're gonna have faith. You're gonna go right through it with faith, with trust, by defining moments of love. And you're a defining moment of love, now active, now real, Divine One. So I'm living proof of this, okay? I'm a living example of what I'm speaking, okay? Everything I speak, I have already gone through. I've already done. Okay, I'm not just like learning this in some school. This is my own school, because I'm learning about me in my own school by revealing myself, by understanding myself. And I've assisted thousands of clients in healing by understanding how it operates, and how ego operates, and how guilt operates. You start to understand things. You start to understand how things flow, right? So I'm living proof of this love and trust. And you do not need to earn God, Goddess's love, okay? God, Goddess loves you right now, in this moment. You are enough. How you battled with that one. How you battled with I am enough. Think about how much you battled that. Remember how many times you tested that one? You tested it over and over and over again to see that you are enough. You are enough. You can finally stop testing it. You are enough. How you battled with that one. Think about how much you battled with that one. Now you're enough. Now trust is not perfect, right? Example is, if you are perfect, I will love you. And this creates a power struggle game. There's a lot of that power struggle games in relationships. First, there's a romance phase. I just love everything you're doing. Even when you're eating it, it's so beautiful. Then there's that after a while, there's a power struggle phase. If you do this more, we'll have the perfect love. If you do this more, I'll love you more. Okay? So trust is not manipulation, okay? It's not control to punish another. If you do this, I'll trust you more. Or you better do this to earn my trust. Trust is not manipulation to get you to want to get even with another either. This is a negative ambition to trust, right? That's using the ego on the negative part of it. This is a hidden meaning to your trust, hidden agenda, all right? It's only gonna slap you back in the face again. Most likely this is from insecurities, right? From shame inside of yourself, or contracts and stuff you have. Past hurts, ghosts of the past, the pains that's rising up, and you can't face your responsibilities anymore. So you've been running for your responsibilities, but your responsibilities are hitting in your face that everybody running into. Because the universe speaks in patterns. So the more you try to run from your patterns, the more you're gonna get slapped in the face with them. How's that going for you? Not so good, I know. So anyways, this causes us to manipulate trust tactics, right? To feel safe and secure. And we control situations to feel safe and secure. I gotta control everything with payoffs and punishments and my poor self-pity. You rescue someone, rescue me. Trust is about change now, Divine One, okay? Some get so stuck up in the way things are working. They miss the opportunities for growth and extension. And they do not want to change for what they do. Trust in new ways of unfolding. Trust in the new ways of you unfolding. How do we trust? How do you trust, Divine One? How do you trust? How do you trust? Building trust within ourselves first. That's what we gotta do, right? You gotta build with your trust inside you first. Built inside of you first. That's what you gotta work on, okay? But by working on defining moments of love inside yourself first, can you do that? Practice that. Making a cocoon a residence of love all around you. You can build in love. You can build in trust. You can build in trusting your own decisions. Wouldn't that be exciting that you can trust your own decisions and trust how you're gonna respond instead of react? Wow. Imagine the visions and dreams that you'll create. Oh, this is exciting. You gotta get exciting about this, okay? So we can build trust with the Creator again. We really can. We can attract the vibrations that we can trust again. A resonance of trust. Imagine new physics of trust. You got trust and you keep creating more trusting situations. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Trust attracts trust, right? Trust is a natural human superpower, right? So without trust, I would not be in my soul power that I am right now, Divine Ones. Yeah. So to activate your soul power, one needs to activate their natural human superpower of dignity and imagination and expecting and giving and receiving, and guess what? Love and trust. Yeah, love and trust. Yeah. So when you're through them in the air, she laughs. Okay. I was getting a little ahead of myself. So when you're throwing a child up in the air, when you're like playing like this, right? And you're the kids, the mom and dad's like throwing it up, and you're catching the child, and you catch it, right? The kid doesn't cry about falling. It's like, yay, catch me, catch me, catch me. Yay, there's that trust again, and Creator's catching you. You can fall into Creator's net. You can fall now. You can fall into Creator's nets, into Creator's arms, into the bosom of God Goddess. You can trust Him now. So I can trusting. I know Creator's perspective on trusting. I know Creator's definition on trusting. I know what it feels like to trust. I know what it feels like to understand how to trust. I know when to trust. I know how to live my daily life trusting. I know it's possible for me to trust. So if you'd like to know what it feels like to trust with a core genetic soul and the history level, just fall back into Creator's arms now. Fall back into Creator's grace. May that wisdom and activation serve you in the highest and best way. Rise into finding moments of love and rise into trust. Your trust and Creator's love. Woo! Woo! This is Chris Parr from Miraculous Light. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks so much for being here today. Yeah! Chris Parr from Miraculous Light. Over and out. Yeah!